leading tackler, leading pass defense.
Concerns about concussions in all of pro sports now. That one hurt.
Yeah, the left elbow of Terrence Jones.
Them up, Panthers, and they get beat.
Malkin wide open down the wing. Malkin shoots it, saved made by Markstrom.
Oh, he went in hard, he's hurt. He went in hard, and he dropped his stick behind the net. This isn't good.
A concussion is an injury to one's brain caused by a direct blow to the head or an indirect hit to the body. A concussion is usually induced when a hard impact is taken by someone and their head moves in a whip-like motion. This motion causes the brain to strike the front and back of the skull, therefore causing a concussion. Now I want you all to think of one sport that is associated with concussions. For most of you, football is probably the first sport that popped into your head. This is the case with most people. That's because both retired and former football players have been heavily advocating for awareness and prevention research to be put into concussions. However, what most people aren't even aware of is that women suffer from more concussions annually than men. Their symptoms last much longer than men, and it takes a lot longer for women to be cleared from a concussion than it does for a man. The Journal of Athletic Training did research to find the differences between each sex in sports. When similar sports were compared to each other, women always had higher concussion rates. Out of all the women's sports, women's soccer came out on top with the highest concussion rates.
It's a great ball in. It was Morgan Bryan in the end. Morgan Bryan at the top.
Stopped the game because of the potential head injury.
It's a brave play. There's got blood there.
To tie this game. Harris with a punch. She was hit on the way through, and that will be a foul on Ashlyn Harris, who was shaken up.
Some interviews from the UTEP women's soccer team showed some compelling evidence.
My last concussion that I got playing soccer, I had a soccer game, and going towards the goal, because I play the position that scores goals, I went up for a header, headed the ball into the goal, and coming down landing, I ran into the pole, and it knocked me out somewhat, and that's how I got my last concussion.
My last concussion happened during one of my soccer games in college, and me and this girl were going up for a header when it got kicked to me, and I headed it out and she headed the side of my head, and I got a concussion.
I am a freshman, and I have suffered from 0 concussions in college, but I've suffered from 5 outside of college.
I am a freshman, and so far I have suffered from 1 concussion in college, and I've never had any other concussions besides in college.
It's been 2 months since my last concussion, and I am still experiencing trouble with light and sound. And it still bugs me from time to time, and I have trouble sleeping. To try to stop the concussions from occurring in the future, my weight room coach does these neck exercises where we try to strengthen our neck to prevent the concussions when heading the ball or heading somebody else.
To stop it, our weight room coach has us doing neck exercises to strengthen our neck to help prevent concussions.
When it comes to concussions, action needs to be taken. There needs to be an understanding among everyone that concussions aren't just an issue among men in football. It's a very serious issue among people of all ages and genders.
My name is Corey Lewis, and I have suffered from concussions.
I've suffered from concussions.
I've suffered from concussions.
I've suffered from concussions.
I have suffered from a concussion.
I have suffered from a concussion.
I have suffered from concussions.